So we're not doing TV, we're doing YouTube. So we're not doing billboards, we're doing original art murals. We're not doing event sponsorships, but we've got a lunch truck parked at the entrance to the event, that kind of stuff. Before I really get into my presentation, I want to give you just a little context of the company I work for. I'm sure there's maybe 3 of you in this room that have ever heard of Novamex. We were founded in 1987. It's family owned. We state on our business cards and in our mission statement that we're the leader in the marketing of Hispanic foods and beverages. Jarritos is our flagship brand. Who's heard of Jarritos here? Who's had one in the last 7 days?
Coming. In the name of my team, I really want to thank you, also our sponsors, our premium sponsors who are listed here. I know there's people coming from Canada, from all parts of the United States, particularly from the emerging Hispanic markets. First, a housekeeping note. Some of you will also be here tomorrow at our 5th annual Hispanic Digital and Print Media Conference. Those attendees have a little note on their badge holder providing information about the advertiser roundtables happening tomorrow at 4:45 p.m. So that's that little paper you have there. I just want to let you know it's not about today, it's about tomorrow.
With that, I would like, if David's ready, to head on up and share with us the information that he'd like to talk about in terms of how to detect an emerging Hispanic market. David Flynn from Novamex. Let's welcome him. And I will tell you that certainly Colorado does not have the same experience that Arizona has had, but we do have a large meat packing industry up in Weld County, and you know what's happening in meat packing in terms of the raids, the ICE raids.
This is the picture that shows where the trends are. So the brighter the orange is, the more the growth of Hispanic population has been. And the top chart shows Hispanic stores. So as I mentioned, there's 4,000 stores that are happening. You notice that, does anyone know the story of Walmart, where they're based? Arkansas in the middle of the United States, Bentonville, the first stores in Rogers. They actually started from the middle of the United States, where historically there was no Latinos. They were all on the west or on the east coast or on the south, meaning Miami. And the stores just started to populate outward. So in essence, their store distribution, they almost thought in advance. They already have the right stores in the right location for the growing Hispanic segment. We do notice we are a little light in Nevada and in Arizona, but we're trying to just help that situation out. It's not as easy. We've been trying to get a store out here in New York City. There's a lot of regulatory challenges that we go through.
Here we go, blogs, webpage, da-da-da-da. Doña Libertad, we had to turn a Lady Liberty into Latina, so she's now Doña Libertad, our wise Latina. And Mexican consulates we talked about, I have to say Jarritos. Jarritos! Or as some of my Anglo people say, Jarritos. I love that Jarrito. So Jarritos has been a wonderful partner with us for now, we're going on 4 years, I believe. And it's been very successful. There's the consul from San Antonio. Alliances, White House Alliance, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, American Red Cross, we bring them all in along with our educational series. So it's not just about taxes. And I think this is the last one. Oh, elbow grease. And now we're done.
Latin women are hungry for good information, written especially for them. And that's exactly what we know how to do here at Meredith Hispanic Ventures.
Okay, that was really quite delightful, but I think the point being that content marketing can really span the gamut. It can be entertainment and it can be educational. And we have a wonderful panel here that's going to talk to you a little bit about what they do in the content marketing space for their own brands and for their own initiatives. And I'm going to introduce them and we're going to ask them some questions.
It's kind of I don't think that's the wrong approach. I think we're stronger.
And then the end user decides.
It used to be, and I'm not sure because I haven't done research on newspaper in a while, but it used to be all about Latinos wanting.
Like infamous Bob, we like Bob.
So I have no idea.
As we've looked at this, and you know, you remember that complex chart with all the different data feeds, we've put those together, we've pulled them into one place. I looked across all the studies we've done in the last 2 years, very specifically to create some benchmarks around Hispanic marketing ROI. Now these ROIs are averaged across all media channels, so there's television in there, there's radio, there's print, there's online. I just wanted to give you a sense of what these numbers look like across industries.
Are we doing Hispanic to do Hispanic, or are we doing Hispanic and we're going to measure it, prove it, adapt and go forward, you know, depending upon results. So, you know, we really aim to work with our clients through the discovery process to find out what are those KPIs. Can we be successful and measurable? But ultimately, it starts at the client side.
Now, we talked about the economy slowing a little bit. So we heard Bernanke say like 1.5%, right? And everybody's going, well, we might do 2 or 3 or whatever. We know we're in single digits. So I'd like to ask both of you guys, how do we all know it's kind of slowing, but how do you think it's going to impact the Hispanic advertising marketplace? And as a marketer and a publisher, so.
For Macy's, the Latino customer is paramount right now. We're very excited to be a part of their lives, and you know, we want to bring them into the store. One of our major initiatives right now is the My Macy's initiative, and we want everyone to feel like that Macy's is your Macy's, it's your store.
And now, the candidates. Top content provider to Hispanic audiences, Agencia F, American Airlines Nexus Magazine, HispanicallySpeakingNews.com, Luis Alberto Villamarin Pulido, Meredith Integrated Marketing Craft, The Mundial Group, Todo Bebé, Vidasalud.com, and the award goes to HispanicallySpeakingNews.com. Next category, Top Digital Media Professional of the Year, Al Quintana, The Digital Rain Dance, Anita Grace Ad Executives, Armando Rodriguez, Head of Sales and Business Development, Yahoo Hispanic Americas, Fernando Rodriguez, CEO, Terra, Kevin Conroy, President, Univision Interactive Media Group, Marla Skisco, Skyco. Sorry, Marla. SVP, Director of Digital Innovation, SMG Multicultural, Miguel Ferrer, General Manager, AOL Latino. And the award goes to Armando Rodriguez, Head of Sales and Business Development, Yahoo Hispanic America.
Maria Fernandez, I work for Telemundo, and on behalf of Telemundo, L'Oreal, and all the departments that have worked very arduously on Club de Noveleras, we thank Portada. We are incredibly proud of our baby, so we appreciate that you guys all took the time to take it into consideration. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Portada for this honor and everybody who voted. I just want to say to everybody that we believe there's an incredible opportunity in digital media for the U.S. Hispanic segment, especially in local search, and I invite all of you to look at our site, yasabe.com, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future.
And the award goes to People in Español, Yahoo Integrated Campaign.
I want to thank Portada and everyone who voted for Nexus Latinos for this great honor. In a few short 2 years that we've been in print, we've done a lot of wonderful things, a lot of great strides, and we have many more things to do.
And the award goes to Margaret Bowler, President, Eclipse Marketing Services.
Open up a little bit more. So I should see Maria in the back. And then. Ya sabe, un poquito más para acá.
But these countries are growing at a much, much faster rate than the rest of the world. If you look at gross domestic product growth, it's startling that China, for markets like China and India, have been growing 10%. Somebody mentioned earlier today, well, the research person said, we'll be lucky if we get 1-2% growth. These guys are growing 5 times that, and they've been growing 5 times that for the last 5 or 6 years.
As a true Latina, will try to multitask. And so I show up there, and I'm, of course, I'm a social media diva.
Well, that's amazing that State Farm is doing all of that. Javier, tell me, that's probably the exception to the rule. Most of our advertisers are lagging behind in this space. Can you talk about a little bit why you think that is and what you think we need to do?
There's a couple things. I think one of the fears that advertisers have is, of course, letting their brand go. Because one of the things that we understand in the social space is you have to be true of what you are and what you do, because people will comment and raise questions about the things you're doing. So that's one of the big issues is, people pride themselves in having their brand very pristine and don't want people talking. They want to talk to people and are scared to hear back. So that's the first major thing that a lot of brands have to be able to do, and kudos to what you're doing, because most people want to hold back. Second thing is that because unfortunately there are a lot of legal restrictions depending on the products. For example, one of our clients are all the family brands within Tylenol and Johnson & Johnson. Because there are a lot of restrictions as far as medicine and so forth, they're very fearful of having a place where people can talk about it and say, well, your head hurts, take 2 Tylenol and you'll be better in the morning. Or even having recipes that maybe things your abuela might have taught you. It's like, the chicken soup and all of that.
I see the Latino press taking a hit somewhat like everybody else, but not as much as the English press. I think that is true. I don't think it's gone down as much in the Latino press, in the Spanish language press, as it has on the Anglo side, in part because of the demographic trends, and in part because some of the advertisers are, particularly in those weeklies and everything, are local advertisers who are very tied to their market, and they know they're getting this great rate of rate of return on their investment and all this kind of stuff. And so that's there, and it's not going away.
It's a model. Is A not true? And B would be really boring because
It's driving up the national average.
No, I'm Portuguese.
Where? Get to know, of course, the feature. Post on the table.
Distribute cards too.
Right? Or did they give you a different side of the right?
Shot of tequila every day.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine Maria?
But why do we have print when digital is so measurable?
Well, but I think that
And also, what's the best approach? Because if I leave you 5 messages, at the end of the day, you're probably going to be like, why is she calling me so much? No? So,
Yeah, I don't think so. I think voice.
I think it can.
Every year, exactly the same. That's what I'm trying to do.
These guys have great websites. They have about 70 websites just on the You are in town.
Mónica Angulo.
Alejandro Sánchez.
The coach for University of Colorado Sun plays
All right, thanks.